Years ago, growing up in the South, all you ever heard about was Hot Springs, Arkansas. Sounded like such a luxurious place to go to for vacation. I was a career young professional, and I thought, if I ever can afford to go, I'm going to go to Hot Springs, Arkansas, and I'm going to get one of those mineral baths because they sound so cool. So years later, I had a friend that I worked with who was a dietitian, and she had been invited to speak at a large dietary conference in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Her husband didn't want to go with her, so she said, Kat, why don't you take a vacation day and you go with me? Well, I thought this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, so I'll go. I had accepted the invitation almost before she got through asking me to go. So we got in the car and drove up to Hot Springs, which was a beautiful place. And we got to the hotel. And the first thing I did, I called down to guest services and I scheduled my hot mineral bath and massage for the next day. Now, just an aside here, it was like late 70s, and massage therapy and all that was just little heard of. I mean, when you heard massage therapy, you basically thought of a truck stop, and it was not a good thing. But I scheduled my appointment, and the next morning at 10 o'clock, I came down to the spa area, and they said, "Oh, you must be Miss Selman." I said, "I am." And they said, "Here, if you'll take this sheet and go into the little dressing area, then and remove your clothes, then we can begin your session." And when she said, "Remove your clothes," I don't know what I had been thinking, but I can assure you that nothing in my head had ever pictured me taking my clothes off to have any of this done. I don't know what I was thinking, but it certainly wasn't that I'd be removing my clothes at any point in time. So I'm there in the little changing closet and I'm thinking, okay, well, I can do this. I can cover everything up with this sheet. So that's what I did. When I came out of the little changing area, I had that sheet wrapped from my neck all the way down to my ankles. And the lady just kind of looks at me. She gives me a cute little grin and she says, "Follow me." So I followed her down the hallway to where the attendant was. And, I tippy toed. I was praying that I would not tip over. And I was also praying that mineral water was colored. And just for your own edification here today, I will tell you it is not. Mineral water is as clear as your drinking water. So just so you know that. So we get down to the room that I'm going to have the massage and the hot mineral bath. And the lady that had checked me in turned me over to the new attendant. And the new attendant looked at me and she saw, went from my head down to my toes. And she kind of laughed and she said, "Hon, you're going to have to take that off." And I'm standing there and I'm thinking, okay, Kat, it's the late 70s. You're cool. You're hip. You can do this. And inside, I'm praying. I'm thinking, okay, hopefully, I know they've seen better, okay? But hopefully they have seen worse. So I did drop the sheet. Now, a funny thing happens when you're standing in front of someone and they are fully dressed and have clothes on, and you have not a stitch of clothing on your body. There is nowhere to put your hands. I mean, I crossed my arms, I put them down by the side, I kind of waved them around in the air, anything to keep her from looking at my whole body and me realizing that I am completely, totally naked. So she takes me over to the bath and she helps me get in the hot mineral bath. And she leaves the room for a few minutes and then she comes back in and she has a little heated pad rag that she puts under my neck. And she has a little glass of hot mineral water. And she gives it to me and she says, "Enjoy." And then she leaves the room. And so I lay there and I'm thinking, okay, it's pretty cool. You're here in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Ain't you something? So I'm feeling pretty cocky until a new person comes into my room and she looks at me and she says, "Well, good morning, Miss Selman. How are you on this beautiful morning?" And I looked at her and what I said was, "I'm fine, and you?" But inside I'm thinking, "I'm naked. How do you think I am?" She put a glove on her hand that resembled steel wool, so it got my attention. And then she put a little lubricant on that glove. And then she reached into that tub and she pulled my leg up and she began giving me the bath that I had paid for. Now, let me tell you, I was watching where she was going with that glove. I lived through that. And actually, after I got over all the embarrassment and the humiliation and the mortification, I actually kind of enjoyed it. And today, of course, I really believe so strongly in massage therapy. But there are times when we've just jumped into a situation or made decisions without really having all the facts or realizing what the end result might be. You would think that I've learned that valuable lesson of not doing those things and making those snap judgment decisions, but I still get myself in the messes. So this week I'm going to concentrate on fully analyzing, obtaining facts, and just plain old researching before I commit to doing anything in my life. Won't you join me just for this week?